you beautiful bastards. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Welcome back to the Friday Show. A show I am so excited to bring back. If you're new here, Monday through Thursday, I like to talk about the news, the world, everything. And then Friday, I like to dedicate to the conversation with you, looking at your comments, responding to some of them, and it's a good time. Asterisk, usually. So with that said, let's jump into the Monday Show. Monday, we talk about YouTube ads, Pepe the Frog dying, rest in peace, the Florida child porn conviction and controversy, fake news going viral, and an update on the Daddy of Five situation. AW asks, is there any information on how YouTube Red subscriptions help monetization for sites, I'm imagining you mean channels, that are getting screwed on ad revenue? Like, is your share of money worse or equal to everyone else, unlike with ads? So if you care about the behind the scenes, this will be interesting. If not, probably just skip a minute ahead. For those that don't know, YouTube Red is a subscription service available here on YouTube. To find it, you go to youtube.com/red. If you sign up, you get a month free trial, and then after that, it's $9.99 a month. You don't get ads on YouTube. You can have background play if you just want to listen to the audio, and if you want to download a video, you can, and then you can watch it offline. And the side benefit, although it's more for creators out there, is that even though there is not an ad played on a video, they actually get paid. So how do creators get paid with YouTube Red? Well, it's based on who you, a YouTube Red user, watch. And the big thing here is it's based on minutes. So it doesn't matter about the number of videos a person watches, it just matters how long they are watching you. So for example, let's say you watch my channel and another channel where they put up like an hour-long video podcast. My videos on average these days are 12 minutes, so you watch 5 of those. Boom, 60 minutes. Once a week, this podcast channel, they upload a 1 hour-long video. Boom, 60 minutes. Even though they only uploaded 1 video and I uploaded 5, we are watch time equals, which means if you only watched our channels, we are splitting the money that comes from your YouTube Red subscription equally. And in this scenario, you are watching the videos from beginning to end completely. You're not stopping in between. Because it doesn't matter how long the video is, it matters how long you watched it. So unlike regular ads, which really promote, put out as much content as possible, it can be short, it doesn't matter. The creators that will benefit the most are creators who make long-form content on YouTube. At least as far as YouTube Red's concerned. Also, another fantastic new way that YouTubers can make money on YouTube is Super Chat. I talked about Super Chat when YouTube first launched it, but now you actually have creators like PewDiePie, Felix, using it during live streams and making a ton of money. Instead of your normal live stream donation, what you have is someone typing out a comment saying, I want to put $5, $10, I've seen $100+. And that comment stands out and gets pinned up near the top. So that's a new way. Also, to other creators, I highly recommend you make money off of YouTube. When it comes to merchandise, there are a ton of options. I personally use and always recommend Teespring. Everything they make is always based off of pre-orders, so there's no risk. You couldn't lose money. Also, if you're talking about non-advertiser friendly things, or you're being deemed more and more non-advertiser friendly, I highly recommend people look into Patreon. I personally believe that people that consume media are becoming more savvy than ever to the business side of everything, because more and more people are becoming involved in the business side, that more people are more comfortable with actually paying money for their content, especially if it's not mandatory. Because when it becomes mandatory where you're like, I'm not posting these videos unless you pay me, it feels a little bit like entertainment extortion. I know that's kind of like an extreme way to describe it, but that's how some people will see it. Caprovino says, it's kind of refreshing to hear the CEO of YouTube recognize that YouTube really is just a place for viewers to watch people being people. And while I do agree, and I even in that same video was very happy that she said that, a lot of people also did point out that she said that and then announced shows with Kevin Hart, Katy Perry, a bunch of other famous people. And I'm not shitting on Kevin Hart. I love Kevin Hart. But what she said about YouTube being about texture, not polish, and then saying, look at these big polished shows with famous celebrities. I acknowledge that those things don't seem to match up, but I also believe that YouTube is such a big space that I think there is room for both. And ultimately, it kind of doesn't matter what decision YouTube makes. The audience, the community here on YouTube, the people that use the website, they are the ones that decide. Maybe not who gets funding, maybe not who gets promoted, but on what is popular, legitimately popular, not we're gonna fluff the numbers to make things look successful, it's the people. Big Back 1926 says, not sure how to word this properly, but the point of advertising is to reach an audience. In this case, YouTube's audiences. If YouTube audiences are not the advertiser's target demographic, then they are just wasting their money on ads for the wrong platform. One, I totally get what you're saying, and I agree with you. No one is owed. I am not automatically deserving of the highest premium CPMs. But I think a big part of the concern, especially with how videos can be labeled, I think one of the biggest concerns now is, now that we know that YouTube videos are being put into specific non-advertiser friendly categories, one, we as YouTubers don't have access to see what we are being labeled. And two, while we don't even know if we are being labeled shocking, the question becomes, well, what is categorized as shocking? From my experience, a lot of the pre-roll advertising is not usually hyper-focused. It's a bit of a, you purchase a block. And so I think the concern for non-Disney-esque YouTubers that are just a little more raw is my channel being excluded from advertising before? Because the advertiser might not even realize what they're purchasing into. At that point, because they're trying to keep advertisers safe, it's YouTube making the decision. They have that right, but 90% of the things that YouTubers want from YouTube is always just more communication and understanding where we actually fit. Then we had the Tuesday show. Tuesday we talked about the FCC, John Oliver, net neutrality, the elderly woman who was assaulted assaulted at a pool party, and the Spirit Airlines airport riot. That's gonna mispronounce your name. 1973 wrote, I'm not defending the idiot, because he still grabbed an old woman and picked her up, but it looks more like he slipped on the wet ground around the pool rather than threw her to the ground. But he still continued to pick her up and throw her in the pool rather than see if she was okay with what looks like an accidental slam into the concrete. So yeah, he is still a scumbag, but maybe only 98% of what he is being painted as. Your Honor, my client is only 98% guilty. For me personally, I say the moment he put his hands on this old woman, I say fuck it. What happens after that, whether he slipped because it was an accident, which it doesn't matter. He made a choice and everything that follows is his fault after that. But then on top of that, after she smacked into the ground, the fact that he then took her and tossed her in the pool, triple fucking. That was my grandma. I put a knee through his fucking face. Sunder wrote, I don't understand what's so difficult about hearing your flight's been canceled and saying, oh, that sucks. Well, I'll go get a refund and book a new flight. Get a damn book and have a seat. Wait a little bit. In this age of instant gratification, the slightest inconvenience causes riots. I'd say they're more like temper tantrums like this. And it's sickening to see how immature, irresponsible, and disrespectful some people can be. I'm with you a little bit. I think the problem is with that many canceled flights and that many more delayed flights, there's no company that is equipped to be able to help people. Because that was also part of the story. There were people in line trying to figure out what they were going to do, how they were going to get home for hours. Then other flights got canceled. Some people went to the line, but then others stormed the counter. You get a large group of tired, hungry people, jam them together, force them to be next to each other. I'm surprised it didn't go Lord of the Flies 20 minutes earlier. But I do say this as one, a person that knows how scary just giant groups of people can be, and two, as someone who sometimes gets agitated and angry for probably not the most important of reasons. But don't take that as me excusing what people did. I'm not surprised. Dark wrote, I'm against net neutrality. Netflix needs a lot more bandwidth than my personal website, and they should be able to pay more to get their services throttled. What? Well, I think you mean unthrottled. Bandwidth throttling is the intentional slowdown of internet services. And in my opinion, and currently the FCC's opinion, the internet is a utility. There's already a system in place for throttling speed, that you have tiers of internet service. When you're buying your internet, you're deciding how much of the internet hose they're gonna turn on in your house or in your business. Different speed, different price. When it comes to phones, sure, there are unlimited plans, but most, if not all at this point, throttle after a certain amount of usage. Others have capped usage. And because the cost there is on the user, it incentivizes the businesses, these sites out there like a Netflix. They want to be usable and accessible to the masses. They have to figure out how to get their information to be as tiny as possible to get to you. But once you change it to where a user maybe has 30 megabytes down, 30 megabytes up, all of a sudden the ISP gets to say, you know what, even though you have that internet service, because you're using Netflix, who's not going to pay us, their data is just going to trickle to you unless you want to go to our news service, which we own or we're friends with. They get the full speed fast lane. No, to me that's garbage, and I think it stifles innovation, and I think it stifles small business. But hey, we can disagree and it's okay. Then let's talk about Wednesday. Wednesday we talked about the Southwest brawl, why you shouldn't pee on a jellyfish sting, the little Bow Wow challenge, and Trump Comey news. On James Comey, Mad Cat wrote he was going to get fired by either party. I think they just wanted to get through the first 100 days while people watch so close. It's the summer and most people don't care outside of politicians who professionally act offended. If you're gonna talk about Chuck Schumer, just say his name. I do kind of wonder about that. Under Trump, once again, I thought if it happened, it would happen immediately. Not because of the timing, where you've had people talking about the Russia investigation more and more and more. It just seems sketchy. And under Clinton, I wonder if they would have done it day one, or maybe now like Trump after the 100 days, or if she would have done it at all. And it's not just about public opinion. You have a Congress that is a Republican Congress. How would they have reacted? How would they have spun this story? There would have most likely been a fear from the Clinton camp that they were going to turn that into, well, something did happen with those emails. I don't know, but it also would make a lot more sense to me if she would have fired him as well. But in general, I always feel it's like a sticky situation when you're talking about hypotheticals. Cat Watkins wrote, I feel like most of this airline drama nonsense is people trying to get attention. Because it started with United, then Delta, and now Southwest and Spirit Airlines are in the mix. People see others on news and want to see if they can get on the evening news too. Cat, I think definitely with some. I remember after the Dr. Dow United story, there was also a story I didn't end up covering because it felt very much like someone was trying to get attention. It was this guy that was on this United flight and he was supposed to be in first class, but they swapped out the plane. So he wasn't going to be able to have that seat, and oh my God, gave him a seat in economy. Reportedly between a married couple that was having an argument. They didn't want to sit next to each other, and yeah, that's inconvenient. So that one to me seemed like a grab for attention rather than, oh no, poor you. Touch of Magic says, in defense of the man in blue, I feel like getting involved in stopping a fight on a flight is a risky move. One, you could very easily get assaulted. Two, you could get lopped into the mix as one of the attackers and kicked off future flights. And I even said this yesterday, I am making fun of him, but I would 100% not get in the middle of that. I was personally making jokes because it looked like he couldn't fully decide if he wanted to stop it and get involved or not. And so to me, to see that internal conflict just play out on video, it was beautiful. And from there, let's jump into the Thursday show. Thursday, we talked about the Russian vlogger who was found guilty after after playing Pokemon Go in a church, the, I'm using air quotes, potentially fake cam model shark attack, and we talked about this D-bag. Riley Chantel says Molly is winning at the Bow Wow Challenge. But the hat to you. Jeremy Stewart says, does anyone think that dude in the D-bag of the day clip looked like he was on drugs? That was a lot. I've never seen Roid Rage, but this is what I imagine it's like. So I don't want to say he was on drugs. At the very least, he looks like he was very drunk. I know and have friends that have gotten that amped up and angry and ready just to throw down. But instead of saying a bunch of hate-filled, ignorant bullshit about someone because of the color of their skin or who they were, they hated me because I wasn't a Patriots fan. I'm a Jets fan, but how angry those guys get, I want the Pats to win. Andrew M. said the last guy beat his chest like a god. like a damn ape person comparable to his intelligence, no? Agreed. Josh McReynolds says the drunken moron yelling at those Muslim folk claimed he was Christian. Just wanted to state very few of us are like that, unfortunately. The kinds of Christians who use their faith to justify their hatred of others and their ideas are the only ones who get the spotlight. Well, yeah, whether it be of a faith or an organization, it's very rarely the people that are just part of the group, just, we're here because we have a lot of the same opinions. I just want to live my life and be happy. Though those people rarely get the spotlight. It's the loud people screaming. But I also wonder if we'll ever really be able to get to a place where it's a generally understood thing that some are not representative of all. But then does it become this weird situation where, and every time someone that fits your description, whether it be of an organization or a gender or a race or whatever. The main point, someone that has a common trait or characteristic or whatever with you, if they do something horrible or embarrassing or just stupid, are you obligated to then be like, well, not all of us. We don't stand by that. Or is it more on the people that are just seeing it to understand and to be smart enough to go, that is an individual that did something. And the best way to see where you are with that is to switch little bits of information around. Like you, Josh, you as a Christian person are saying this person who is saying they are a Christian, they are not representative of me and mine. And in the United States, I imagine there are a lot of people that will nod their head yes to that statement. But let's say the roles are reversed. The crazy drunk guy is actually a Muslim guy, and he's doing all of the same things to a Christian family. One, imagine the fucking difference in a YouTube comment section. But then two, in the United States, if Muslim Josh, that as a Muslim, what this guy is doing is not what a representative of me and mine, would there be as many people nodding their heads? I mean, to me, as someone that is not part of any organized religion, I don't have any faith, there's a lot of stuff in religion that doesn't make sense to me, and I think a lot of people turn a blind eye to the hypocritical thing. But the big reason I say I don't have a problem with religions 99% of the time is because I separate the people that are part of a faith with the faith. I think most people just want to live a happy life. When people start shouting about their faith, it's like mine's better than yours and yours, blah. There are so many stupid reasons that we as human beings hate one another. And I'm not saying, oh, let's have a hate-free world. Right, that's not what I'm going for. The only kind of hate-free world is a world where we don't exist. We've been wiped out. I'm just saying if we're gonna hate one another, let it be for what we actually do to one another. That's it. And that's actually where I'm going to end today's show. I want to thank you beautiful bastards for a fantastic first week back. This past while has been a roller coaster ride for me, and now it just, I'm in such a happy, inspired, energized place, and it's thanks to you guys. The main point, thank you for another fantastic week. I hope you enjoyed this show. If you liked this video, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Also, it's a little weird that the first video you watched on this channel was a recap and response of the past week, but hello anyway. Also, for the three of you that are still watching at this point of the video, if you want to watch any of this week's Philip DeFranco shows, you can click or tap right there. If you want to see today's brand new vlog, I'm now posting Monday, Wednesday, Friday on the vlog channel. Click right there. But that said, of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you tomorrow. No, I won't. I just lied. I just lied to you. Monday.